This is the rear of Abbott Hall, and that was my room right in there. And in honor of Mark Meyer, of course, Thompson Point is right on Campus Lake. It's got a commanding view. There's a small trail that runs completely around Campus Lake that we used to take every so often to jog and run. It's the back of Brown Hall, where Dennis Ohm lived. And here behind Stiegel Hall, where we're staying this weekend, is Campus Beach across the lake there. On the other side of Campus Lake is the WSIU FM radio tower. Spent some time out there. It's off to Mary Lou's in downtown Carbondale. The new Mary Lou's, at least.
I need a couple of white chairs on the
Not worth shipping.
That's all right. We'll get all
Big
the hands
smile.
waving, you know.
There you go. Oh yeah, in color. All of them.
Now we've got a little yeah, an RCA.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it right when they first, a year after they came out.
Uh-huh.
Got the backpack, goes over your shoulders.
Like
those are wonderful.
Field pack.
And one time my husband took it down to the railroad when he worked for the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
Took it down there to tape them doing some kind of exercises at work.
Mm-hmm.
And he dropped the whole thing.
Oh boy.
But the railroad paid for it. But still.
That's frustrating. That's the Old Baptist Foundation. There's a Moeller organ in there, and that's where my office was when I worked for the music school. These pictures are from the top of Old Main in about 1900. And here we have a really great house. Shryock Auditorium. This is where I did recordings for the music school. This was all renovated about 20 years ago. This is a domed theater. Here was our recording booth just in here. This is the OBF where we had our offices. Small molar organ. There we go, that's Dick Johnson, who took over from Dick Webb, who I worked for here at the shop. This is our shop. This is neater than Dick ever kept it, Dick. Oh my. Extra coronet for rote there. Oh my, this is that same workbench.
Yeah. About the third or fourth top on it, so.
Wow. This is Morris Library. It's named after Delight W. Morris, who was our university president when I was here. They've got a collection of original James Joyce manuscripts and one of the best collections of books in the south of Illinois. This is the first edition collection of James Joyce work here at the University Library. This is the WSIU Edit Suite. Old high band RCA. And some 1-inch Ampex equipment. And 3/4 inch.
All right, I'll see you. If you need to come with me, bring me to your
Okay. Good morning. You're getting ready to go to graduation this morning, aren't you? Yeah. Great fun. Oh, me too. Don't worry about it. There's John Voles. Sue, Mark's wife, rather, right there. Here comes Rich Stribling. Mark Meyer there. That's Greta on the left, and Rich Stribling behind Mark Meyer there. I'll switch it with you if you like, huh? Would you like something a little oranger than that? Okay. Look at that, it turned orange. Great.
Okay, what we'd like to do, Cheryl came up with this idea yesterday, and I think it's pretty good. A lot of us came from different generations, if you will, from Thompson Point, and so some of us don't know others that are here. And so for the benefit of those that don't, we thought as a way of breaking the ice for those that don't know the others, if we could just go around from table to table and just get up and say who you are and what years you're over at Thompson Point, and if you've got kids now and that sort of thing, and where you're living. Okay? Let's start at that table over there. I think that's a good start.
The farthest one.
I knew you were going to do that.
Smith's over there.
Hi, I'm Gail Dasher Smith.
Stand up.
Do I have to? Yes.
Need a microphone.
Yeah, that's all right. I lived on the point 72 to 74. Graduated in
What dorm?
first Kellogg, and then my senior year I went back and was in Stiegel for 5 months in the room I was in last night.
Oh.
And we're in Naperville now. This is my daughter Becky, this is my son Eric, and this is my husband Rich, who also lived on Stiegel second floor the same time I did, but at the time I couldn't stand him.
How do you feel about it now?
Next.
It's also their anniversary.
Hey, happy anniversary.
Here.
Uh-oh. Well, probably most people didn't know me when I was here because I was real shy and quiet. Mark and I started a shyness club on campus. It was terrible. Yeah, the introvert society. I'm Jonathan Voles. I was here from 71 through the normal time you're here.
5 years.
Summers also. I lived 2 years in Phelps Third, same room. I think it was 308, and then I lived 2 years in 212 Stiegel. So I was there and involved in orienteering and student government and a little everything, trying to keep Mark in line, you know, that kind of stuff. So basically, this is my son Dan. That's my daughter Elizabeth. And this is Sharon, who has her own story, so I'll leave her. Oh, she had, it's kind of the same story you had.
Well, I was Sharon Watson at the time, and I was here for 2 years, 75 and 76. And I was on second floor Stiegel. And Jonathan was on second floor Stiegel, and I had the same problem. I didn't like him at all then. So if you find out you don't like somebody, you may be in trouble here. So and these are two Munchkins.
Me? No, not me. I'm Rich, Gail's husband. And I was here from 72 to 74. And I was in Bailey for 2 years, the first 2 years, and I was in Stiegel for the second 2 years. That's fine.
He was never convicted.
Never. They blame me for a lot, but they never caught me.
Much later. Should we do this table? All right, Tom.
I'm Tom Ripley. I was here from 71 through 73, and I'm a refugee from Pierce Hall. And I now live in Louisville and still run around there.
My name is Darlene Sipsick. I was here from 70 to 76. I lived in Kellogg Hall all that time, so I'm a refugee from there. I live near Kankakee, Illinois right now. I work for the Department of Corrections. Oh, and I have a farm.
I'm Terry Hirsch. I'm 72 to 76. My first 2 years were in Kellogg. I was an RA in Boyer the next year and an RA in Baldwin the next year. I've been transferred around a little bit with GTE. I lived in Peoria, Indianapolis, and just recently moved to Dallas, Texas.
My name's Cheryl Gray, and my maiden name was Coe when I was on Thompson Point. And I was living in Baldwin Hall. The first year I lived in one of the middle rooms, and the last year I lived on the end room that faced Lentz Hall. So my room was the one with the big mannequin, full-size naked lady mannequin in the room. And I was very active in student government with many of the people that you see here. And those years have really strongly impacted my life because I've continued to pursue higher education and college student personnel. That's my field of business now. And so I'm really appreciative of those years that I had at Thompson Point. This is my husband Bert and my sons Tom and Peter. And I don't know if I mentioned, but we live in Oswego, which is outside of Aurora in Illinois. And I teach and am a career counselor at Elgin Community College, and I have a private practice in counseling. and I do some consulting work, and I'm almost done with my doctorate at Northern.
Byers.
Luella Davis Byers.
That's correct. I came to Thompson Point in '69, August or September, whatever, and I lived in Stiegel Hall, room 208, where we are now, for a year. And then I went to Baldwin, 208, for a year. And then I was an RA at Smith Hall, 321, I think the number was, for a year. And we live in Champaign, Illinois. This is my husband, Bob. He is an attorney, 7 years at the U of I. This is my daughter, Sarah. She's 10. She's a Girl Scout. She runs track, and she's a very active little girl, very smart in school. And Mark and Susie are her godparents. And this is my son, Ben. He's 16. He is a track guy, track. And he likes lots of girls. We get lots of phone calls. He loves to tell them all. In fact, I think there might be one growing here someplace. He goes to Centennial High School in Champaign, and then Brian is missing.
Oh.
He's almost 12, and he's into sports also, soccer and baseball especially. But he also runs track. All three kids run track, and we keep very busy, and in between, I'm a CPA with a master's in tax, and I work especially hard from January 15th through April 15th. After that, I kind of relax a little bit, take the summers off for my family. But right after leaving here, I taught school too, by the way. And then I was one of those old students who went back to school about 4 years ago and got my master's and my CPA. And we keep busy. We like it.
Let's do this table next here. Surprise everybody.
Oh.
Talk for me.
I'm Richard Cliff, and I was in Bailey my first year, 71, 72, and then after that I was in Stiegel to 74. And I went off to work for General Electric in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, a very obscure place. It's where I've been ever since.
You're still in Pittsfield, too? Yeah, I'm
paying attention.
I'm Tom Ellers. I was in Bailey in 72, and Stiegel in 73, and Warren in 74. I met my wife at college at DuPage. She was Barbara Kipfer. We got married right after we got out of Southern Illinois in 74, and promptly had 2 children, Shannon and Robbie. And we currently reside in a suburb about 25 miles west of St. Louis.
Well, I'm Cindy Elliott. If I remember correctly, I was Cindy Elliott when I was in school here. And I lived in Baldwin for 2 years, and I lived in Stiegel for 2 years between 72 and 76. And I shared room 206 with Sharon Watson-Bowles. And she said she didn't like John very much, but he was in that room an awful lot.
My roommate.
I now live in Miami, Florida. I went to Miami after I graduated in 77, and I'm like Cheryl. I never expected really to have a career in higher education, but I'm with Miami-Dade Community College, and I sell instructional television. And I started an SIU alumni chapter in Miami, and we have surprisingly about 50 people. But we usually get together for the baseball teams, which they never beat the University of Miami. But you're all welcome to come down to Miami anytime, and I'm very grateful for the work that Mark and Rich have done in the last year and a half to put this event together. I couldn't believe all the people that
here. All right.
My name was Sue Brookover. I was at Kellogg Hall from 74 to 75, I think. And this is my husband, Eric. And we have a little girl, Jacqueline. She just turned 3 years old last month. And right now we're living in Henderson, Kentucky.
I don't think anybody ever really knew my whole name, but I'm Pav, and it's Evstathios Louis Pavlidis, for those of you first time that actually know what it is now. I was here in 72 to 76. Started in Brown Hall, went to Pierce Hall, went to Smith Hall, and then went to Abbott.
Nobody would keep him.
Nobody would. Yes, I was an orphan child. So, but at any rate, now I'm in Edison, New Jersey, which is about a half an hour outside of New York City, and I'm running a convention center there. So, at any rate.
I'm Wally Cox, and I was in Brown Hall from 69-70 and 70-71, and then 71-72 was in Stiegel Hall on the second floor. These are three children. Brian, he's the oldest. Sean's the middle child. Alicia's the youngest. This is my wife, Shelby, over here. When I got out of school, we went to St. Louis. I worked over there for a consulting engineering firm for a while, for I guess about 6 years. We came back after that to a firm in Centralia, Illinois, and there's several of us have that now. We're still there, and we're still doing consulting engineering business. I farmed until about 3 years ago, and I decided, like a lot of them, that we'd go back to school, and I'm currently working on a second degree in civil engineering at this time, and still continuing to work. I'll let Shelby tell her story.
I'm Shelby Wittenborn Cox, and I started out in Brush Towers, 17th floor. Got a nice view.
A good view, though.
I didn't like it over there, so I moved over to Thompson.
All right, yeah.
Baldwin Hall, room 204, and from there I went to Stiegel, room 204, which is where we're at now. We're in Centralia now. Yeah, he said that.
I'm Barbara Cox Jestick. This is my husband Dan. He can tell his story, as many others. Let's see, I was here from 70 to 74. I was in Kellogg the first 2 years, and I was in Warren the third year. And we lived in Fox Valley Villages between Aurora and Naperville. So have two other neighbors down here. I taught school in Carmi, which is where we lived after we left here in 74.
Yeah.
Taught school there for 10 years, and my husband was transferred to the Chicago area, and we moved up there and have been there for a little over 6 years now. We have two children, Levi, age 7, and Charla, 18 months.
You want to take the kids here? I'm Dan Jestick, and I guess I'm the old man of the thing here. I got here in '69 and stayed at Thompson Point 2 years, starting off in Phelps 202, which is the end room, then moving to one of the island rooms, I think it was 212, and graduated in journalism, and I'm in banking now, and met my wife, who was in Kellogg at a Phelps-Kellogg snowball fight in the winter.
Great, Dan. There we go. Ray, let's do
Some
it.
people think that I'm Mark Meyer's shadow, but that's not true. Okay, simply because Mark and I did so many things together. Well, both of us were here, but my name is Ray Urchall. I'm now living in Chicago. I too have given up my old newspaper background and gone into real work. I'm working for the government. And one of my favorite lines is, it's probably one of the old standards. Okay, those of us with the federal government, that we're here to help you and watch out. Okay, currently I'm living in Chicago, and I was here from 72 through 76. I spent most of my time probably down in the basement of Let's Hall.
Hey, a lot of us.
Although I spent some of the sleeping hours, I think in Warren, and most of the wake hours, probably various other places.
Like overturning cars.
Great.
My name's Holly Bland, and I'm still Holly Bland. And I was here from 70 to 73, just 1 year. And I lived on the third floor. Did I live on the third floor? Yeah, I was on the third floor. And I've lived all over the state in Illinois, and then it got really cold 1 year back in '85. And 80 below zero said, okay, adios, and now I live in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's 122, and suffering from the heat, but I really enjoy it a lot. I'm an X-ray tech, and I've worked all around Phoenix. I've worked at the hospitals and in doctor's offices, and I really like it out there, but I really miss back here with the trees and everything, but I'm glad to be here. I'm Elvira Moser, and I was here in '73, lived in Stiegel, room 210. I left the dorm after 2 quarters. I didn't really care for living in the dormitory. Went off campus. I graduated in '74 and also in '77. Let's see, I'm currently living in Vernon Hills. I worked for the Lake County Health Department. Prior to that, I was the State Nutrition Director for Illinois, for the Illinois Department of Public Health, and now I'm the WIC Coordinator for the Lake County Health Department. I have one daughter, Bridget, who told me not to mention anything about her. But she's 9 years old, and that's all I'll say.
Good.
I'm Sue Meyer, and Mark is my husband. And we live in Canyon Country, California. We lived there about 8 years. I lived in Kellogg from 74 to 76. And Gail was my roommate part of that time. And we have 2 children. Grandma and Grandpa are babysitting them right now. Jonathan is 6 and Jillian is 3.5. And I'm a full-time mom. I do a lot of volunteer work at church and at school, and soccer team, basketball team, swimming, and things like that.
I'm Rich Dribbling, and I lived in Stiegel Hall during 73, 74 time frame. I was activities coordinator during that time. Greta's my wife. We have 2 kids that are be here later, Benjamin and Tracy. Live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I work for Texas Instruments.
I'm Greta Johnson. I was here from '74 to '78. First 2 years Kellogg, first floor. Second 2 years Baldwin. And that's about it. I'll live with Rich.
I'll tell my story. You get to take a picture of Susie V. Fine. There you go.
Yeah, our wedding was by the lake 10 years ago.
I'm Mark Erickson. I compete with Dan for being the old man here. I moved here in 1969 and lived on Thompson Point through 1973 in Pierce and Abbott Hall. Boy, do I miss this place. It's a neat thing to get back here. I live in Poughkeepsie, New York. That's about 90 miles north of New York City on the Hudson River, and I work for IBM out there. I also have a small business. I do recording engineering, and I work with West Point and several of the other organizations that are up the Hudson Valley area on that. Also with the theater group, I'm restoring the pipe organ for our local theater, and that's almost going to come to completion now after about 3 years of volunteer work. About 10 people work with me. Dan and I go back farther than I think anybody. He didn't mention it. I know the words got around a little bit, but Mrs. Roosman was our kindergarten teacher. And we went through the same elementary school, the same high school, and the same college to the very end. And yesterday, when Dan walked in that room, we both about just dropped it. It was great. He told me that, we saw each other the day we graduated out in front of the communication building. I was saying goodbye to my radio TV teachers, and I think you to your journalism class. He said he waved goodbye and said, I'll never see him again. And now, last and most.
Well, I think some of you know me. Mark Meyer is here from 1970 to 75. Started off in Bailey Hall with Tom on the second floor, and then went to Stiegel. And for 2 years, it was Bailey the first 2 years, 72, Stiegel 73, 74, and then after begging Sam to let me back into housing after I made a last-minute decision to come back to school for 1 more year of schooling, and he graciously let me do so, I was in Pierce my last year between 74 and 75. Right now, Susie mentioned we're living in Canyon Country, California. It was a company move. We were living in the Chicagoland area up until 1983. And of course, we got our 2 kids, and here we are.
I want to ask one thing. Kids, applaud your moms and dads, please. It's worth it. Let's hear it. Let's go. Kids!
Thank you all for coming. Oh, yeah. We would like to get a group photo or 2 now. People are going to be trickling in through the day, but as weather permits, we'd probably like to do it while we got some dry weather here. So we want to just by the sign. Is everyone? Yeah. Why don't we go to the main Thompson Point sign there, right off Lincoln Drive there, and we'll get a couple of pictures there, and maybe later on, I think around noontime, I think some of the other people will be coming. I think the entire group will be here by noon, so we'll probably do it again right around lunchtime then too, okay?
Mark, does that offer us an opportunity to buy some reprints of those? Is that
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can do that.
We'll have them ready for the next reunion.
Huh?
Those you too well, Mark, I forgot to mention, we made the full circle. We moved from here to Chicago and have moved all the way back, and we're 45 miles south of here because this wasn't far enough south. So we came back. We're living in Vienna, Illinois, and I'm a correctional educator down there, which people figured I'd end up in prison.
I hope it doesn't rain. I can see us now. Hold up, we gotta get back a little farther.
Bye, Mark.
Former student government person hit by automobile in front of Thompson Point. Camera on camera.
What is this street?
It used to be Campus Drive, but now it's Lincoln. Yeah. Wait, let's hear that all together one more time. It's what?
It's
raining again.
You know where I'm going if it starts pouring?
Huh?
We're under a tree.
We're fine.
Daddy, are
Stop.
Did it stop?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're doing this because you know how much fun it is watching what a pain it is taking a picture.
That's true. Back a little farther, a little farther, a little farther. You know they're all graduation crazed right now. Hang on.
Where are you?
Wait, I got a bush in front of my face.
I don't know how we're going to get
There's a college in Mark said, here's a bush and then something different.
There stands Mark.
Come over here.
before you can survive it? Don't worry about it.
Richie, got mine here too. Go back about a block.
I don't know what
I think, are we moving in more?
That's Darlene.
She wants me in front of the sign. Bring you around. Don't you dare look at me. You come out of there.
Sarah, nobody's going to know who you belong to down there.
You're tired? All right, well then you put your head down like this.
I know.
And I'll stand right here.
I hope I'm not like that.
If you tell me the focus is out on this, Rich, I'm going to kill you. Okay, man, look off that way rather than into the sun. You better run.
Slide! Slide!
Or equivalent small cans of juices.
All right, you stay with me.
We're rolling
These
now.
guys get all the food.
The sun's shining, let's go.
The sun is
You ready?
shining. Yeah, take a picture of the sun.
2 hours off. Here we are at the loading dock behind Lynn's while everybody's starving.
You know, people are either coming here thinking they're going to eat here, or they're going there thinking they're going to...
It doesn't work.
Mark, you're a nut. I love it.
There's enough of these videos.
Record each other getting out of the car.
Whoops, wrong switch.
Alright.
Holy cow. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Twins with our
Hey, your Stiegel 74 shirts.
Yeah, our dueling t-shirts here.
Uh-huh.
74.
Excellent.
Okay.
Hi. Yeah.
George, I put him in the blood.
Don't break the camera.
What a crew, Mark.
Yes. Yes, yes. Mark, these people are
Not one. Kids in front.
Put it in, folks.
Suck it in.
Each other.
Let's get
Huh? Oh yeah, more of that helps.
Oh. I hope you have a good editor.
Or tell,
Absolutely.
Tom, tell.
What?
Say that. Say.
Say what?
But you just
Aren't you
did.
glad you used dial? Don't you wish everybody did? Ray's looking at you askance over there. You turned the wrong way, otherwise you stood right on top of it.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, give me a good morning, Carbondale.
Good morning, Carbondale.
All right, good.
Hey, if Robert Williams can do Good Morning Vietnam, I can do Good Morning Carbondale.
There you go. Good. I bet that'll come in too.
Kind of mathematics thing.
Hold the button down.
I don't know the name of it.
My program that Thompson came up with. This was a deal to spur business in this area. So here they have a meeting. Not to the degree that they call, but it's. I have turkey.
That's a season dial. Depending on the season, it swings into summer in this case, spring, fall, and
So you can see it's coming into focus
winter.
right now. It'll eventually be right. This is why I stayed in this area so long. Matter of fact, I think I took the wrong job. I should have taken the one in Pennsylvania. No.
There's up now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, sun. Right behind the clouds.
I think there's some people from our reunion that stayed out here.
Well, they stayed at the campground.
Here's the campus.
So do they have chimneys?
You can see the 3 towers over there.
Oh, I think I do see that, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see the campus. Little speckles of buildings. Do they have fireplaces in these cabins?
In those down there they do. They don't in these.
Oh, you guys, look.
What?
My crystal on my watch fell off.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Did you hear it? Anything?
No, not at all.
Probably banged with the camera. Well, it's a tree.
We are coming up on Will Travelstead's house. I thought it was.
I said it was close to the one.
Yeah, I hadn't been paying attention to it. That's from 1971 when you went co-ed?
Yep.
The original Stiegel Hall t-shirt.
That is the original.
I love that. Oh my.
None of us had that, I don't think.
I still got my Pierce Hall one.
Have you?
But yeah,
I had 3, and I wore the other 2 to tatters.
I had I have 2 of them, and I have.
Oh, sure.
Hmm.
Wow.
We bought it in June.
Where did you get this?
And nobody wanted the land grant college, so it really wasn't a contest.
Well, there were 7 communities.
Well, no, but what I'm saying, it realistically boiled down to the 3 communities that really got.
Boy, this is
Isn't
so
that wonderful?
neat. Yes, where did you get that?
I got that in Pennsylvania years ago, and then I had it framed. And it's, you know what it is? It's just, they're German.
Yeah.
And they're from like the 1870s or 1880s. And they were made to be torn apart. See, they're scrap ornaments, and that was the head. And then you would tear this apart, and then you would put make a cotton, or netting or something for the body, and then you just kind of glue that.
Oh, put it on the top. Yes, I think I.
So then we're called scrap ornaments. But that was like a full sheet. You can see it still says printed in German.
Well, you know, the one hobby my parents do have is Christmas. And we have, it really is an antique Christmas tree. And that's a long story about that, I won't get into it. But
is it one of those feather trees?
No, it's a hobby that my grandfather started. It's 12-foot tree. That was the first tree in the United States to revolve. And there's like a 40-minute show with audio visual that goes with it.